Hi Taurus, do you feel that? Something's shifting. And it's not just the air, it's the energy. What if I told you that tomorrow could be the moment where everything pivots, not by chance, but by cosmic design? You're not here by coincidence. You were pulled here, guided by something bigger than logic, something that whispers when the world is quiet. This is your invitation. Not just to hear a message, but to remember your own. Welcome to Eternal Mindfulness, where astrology isn't just prediction, it's power. This isn't just a horoscope reading. This is a spiritual map, a cosmic pulse check, and a deep dive into what the universe is aligning for you, right now. Over the next few minutes, we'll explore what's moving through your chart, what the tarot has to reveal, and how numerology, color energy, and the law of attraction are syncing to create a portal of opportunity that only Taurus can walk through with such steady grace. But before we go there, I want to ask you something. Have you been sensing the nudge to change? That subtle pull towards something new, something unknown, yet familiar to your soul? Maybe you've been seeing repeating numbers, dreaming vividly, or meeting people whose timing is just too perfect. That's not random. That's alignment. You see, in Buddhist philosophy, we talk about interdependent origination, the idea that everything is connected. Every moment, every encounter, every click, yes, even you landing on this video, is part of a greater weaving. And right now, you've arrived at a moment where fate and free will meet. So let me take a moment to express my deepest gratitude for your presence here. Every like, every comment, every share, and every subscription brings you closer into the Eternal Mindfulness family. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your energy, your attention, and your curiosity are what fuel this space, and allow us to keep bringing these transformative messages straight to your heart. And believe me, Taurus, you'll want to stay with me until the very end of today's journey. Why? Because what the universe is revealing right now is breathtaking. It's timely. It's personal. And it's powerful. Now tell me, my grounded, loyal, steady Taurus friend. What was it that brought you here today? Was it a feeling? A sign? A quiet whisper in your heart that said, "This is something I need to hear"? Because whatever it was right. And it's just the beginning. So stay with me. Stay open. Let's unlock what the stars, and your soul, have been waiting for you to remember. Sometimes, the universe doesn't speak in words. It speaks in feelings, impressions, quiet nudges that pull at the edge of our awareness. These are not accidents or coincidences, they are signs in motion, subtle yet significant. If you've made it this far, Taurus, you already know that something deeper is calling your attention. And now, it's time to tune in more closely. You're not just observing the energy, you're part of it. Perhaps lately you've felt a sudden urge to reach out to someone you haven't spoken to in a long time. Or maybe a song comes on the radio that echoes something you've been quietly thinking about. There's a quiet whisper that guides your steps, a light pressure in the chest when you're near the right decision, a fleeting image in your dreams that lingers far longer than it should. These are not fleeting illusions. They are inner signals aligning with outer shifts. When we speak of intuition, we're really talking about the wisdom of presence. It's not a mystical power reserved for the few. It's a natural awareness that exists in all of us, often buried beneath the noise of our overthinking. For Taurus, a sign deeply grounded in the earth element, intuition comes not through chaos or flashes of sensation, but through a calm knowing. You feel it in your body first, a heaviness, a stillness, or a gentle draw in one direction. The more you return to your center, the clearer it becomes. This week, the energies around you are sharpening your intuitive senses. The presence of cards like the Hierophant, the Empress, and Ace of Pentacles reflect this in both symbolic and practical ways. The Hierophant reminds you of structure and inner values, the deeper truth you live by. The Empress invites you into softness, into abundance that grows not from rushing, but from nurturing. And the Ace of Pentacles? That's your green light, the fresh soil ready for new roots, the real-world opportunity waiting to be claimed, once your heart knows it's time. The signals may show up through patterns, seeing the same numbers repeatedly, encountering someone from your past, or simply having a strong sense that this is the right moment. Take note. These aren't hints to be ignored. They're reflections of your alignment with time, space, and readiness. One of the most gentle yet transformative practices you can begin right now is simply writing. Upon waking, before your day gets too loud, pause and ask yourself, what did I feel as I opened my eyes? What did I dream? What thought came first? These small, quiet observations are where intuitive clarity begins. In spiritual traditions rooted in awareness, the earliest thought of the day is considered a mirror of your innermost condition. What rises without effort often reveals what's most true. And let's not forget your elemental allies, color and environment. Earth tones like soft green, warm beige, and gentle browns aren't just visually comforting for you, they stabilize your frequency. Wearing these tones, surrounding yourself with them, or even just focusing on them briefly throughout the day can support your inner balance and help you stay attuned to the subtle cues that matter most. When the world asks you to hurry, Taurus, your wisdom comes from slowing down. The clarity you seek is not found in motion but in stillness. That's where intuition speaks loudest, in the space between thoughts, in the calm between two breaths. So don't dismiss what feels insignificant. That odd urge to walk a different route, that moment you hear someone mention something you've been quietly considering, or the unexpected memory of someone who once encouraged your dreams, these are threads. And when woven together, they form the fabric of your next step. You don't need to chase answers this week. Let them reveal themselves gently. Observe. Listen. Feel. The messages are already arriving, softly, gracefully, just like you. Not everything that transforms us arrives with a bang. Some of the most powerful changes come quietly, like a subtle shift in light at dawn or the soft rearranging of furniture in a room you thought you knew. When we spoke earlier about intuition and signs, we were really preparing the ground for what comes next, action. Because awareness, while sacred, must be partnered with movement to become transformation. And Taurus, you are not just here to sense abundance. You are here to embody it. Energy follows intention, and intention becomes tangible through the choices you make every single day. You don't need to leap into something grand. In fact, your strength has always been in the steady, grounded steps, the small, deliberate rituals that realign you with the flow of prosperity. Start with what surrounds you. Look at your space. Is your desk cluttered? Is your wallet worn or filled with old receipts? These aren't trivial details, they're mirrors. When you take time to clear your physical environment, you signal to your internal world that you're making room, not just for order, but for new energy to circulate. We are deeply affected by the things we touch and see daily. Objects carry memory. They influence our mood, even our breath. Something as simple as folding your clothes with care or placing a single green plant near your workspace can shift how you show up in the world. If your surroundings reflect chaos, how can you expect your finances to flow with ease? The invitation here is gentle but powerful. Create beauty, and beauty will return to you in kind. As you begin this process of gentle realignment, take a moment to write a personal financial declaration, not a goal, but a truth you are choosing to live by. Words carry frequency, and when repeated with presence, they carve new grooves in your consciousness. A simple phrase like, "I live in abundance. I receive money with gratitude," is more than affirmation. It's a seed. And the more you speak it, the more fertile your inner soil becomes. At the same time, be mindful of the language you use with yourself. Every time you say, "I'm not good enough," or "I can't afford that," you're building invisible walls around your own potential. These phrases may feel factual, but they are often borrowed beliefs, shaped by fear rather than truth. Replace them, gently but firmly, with words that expand you. I'm learning. I'm open. I trust the flow of life. These don't deny your present circumstances, they simply refuse to be confined by them. One practice that supports this internal shift is a morning ritual of breath and visualization. Before your feet touch the floor, take 3 conscious breaths. As you inhale, imagine a warm, golden light pouring into your chest, not just into your heart, but into your capacity to receive. With each breath, feel that light spreading into the spaces of your life where you long for ease, your bank account, your career, your sense of security. This isn't fantasy, it's focus. You're training your awareness to find evidence of well-being. And from that calm, centered place, take one small action. It doesn't have to be dramatic. Perhaps you sign up for a course you've been putting off. Or you finally organize your inbox. Maybe you reach out to someone whose wisdom you respect. Action rooted in alignment, no matter how small, has a ripple effect. It tells the universe, "I'm ready." There's a teaching that says the path is made by walking it. You don't need to know the whole way forward. You only need to take the next mindful step. And Taurus, you do that better than anyone. With patience. With intention. With quiet strength. There's something quietly powerful about being in the right place at the right time, and even more so, being with the right people. When you've already done the internal work of aligning your space and your mindset, the next layer reveals itself not in effort, but in presence. Who surrounds you? Where do your feet lead you without force? Sometimes, the shift we need doesn't come from more thinking, but from stepping into environments that hold the very frequency we're trying to cultivate within. As an earth sign, Taurus finds grounding not in noise or stimulation, but in the textures of life. The rustle of leaves in a park, the solid feel of wood beneath your fingertips, the quiet hum of activity in a farmer's market or secondhand bookstore. These places don't just soothe you, they awaken you. They bring your awareness out of the clutter of overanalysis and return it to the rhythm of what's real, what's tactile. If you've been seeking clarity or ease, You may not find it at your desk or through another scroll on your phone. You may find it under the dappled light of trees, in the smell of old paper, in the warm exchange of words with someone who simply listens. There's an ancient idea that where you are, physically, influences what you are open to receive. Certain spaces carry the energy of support, while others subtly drain us or stir unnecessary conflict. You may have noticed how quickly your mood shifts depending on your surroundings. This week, be deliberate. Choose environments that nourish your senses. Avoid spaces filled with comparison, complaining, or tension. Even if you can't avoid them entirely, notice the difference in how your body responds. When you feel calm, when your breath deepens, when time seems to slow, those are your cues that you're in the right place. And just as places hold energy, so do people. One of the most overlooked forms of abundance is connection, not surface-level interaction, but the kind that reawakens something wise and grounded in you. Pay attention to who enters your field this week. There may be a Capricorn who shows up with a practical suggestion, or a Virgo whose timing feels strangely perfect. Libra energy may offer emotional ease, a sense of fairness or harmony when things feel off balance. These aren't just personalities, they're frequencies that balance your own. And often, it's the quiet exchanges that shift us most, a phrase dropped casually in conversation, a gesture of kindness, even an unexpected reunion that stirs a memory you didn't realize was waiting to return. Some teachings say that every person we meet is either a mirror or a guide. And when you approach each encounter with curiosity instead of expectation, you open the door for genuine recognition. That handshake, that random song playing when you walk into a cafe, that photo that falls out of a book you haven't touched in years. They may seem like small details, but details are how the world speaks when it wants you to slow down and notice. Stillness, in this context, is not the absence of movement, it's the presence of clarity. And for Taurus, clarity often arrives when you reconnect with the earth, not just the soil beneath your feet, but the rootedness within your own body. Let your week be shaped by gentle choices. Spend time where the energy feels clean, and where conversations feel nourishing. Don't force new connections, let them find you through shared values, mutual timing, and trust. The right people don't demand your attention, they offer calm, perspective, and grounding. When the internal and external align, something beautiful unfolds. It's not a sudden lightning strike, but a quiet inner knowing, this is where I'm meant to be right now. And when you honor that, when you say yes to the soft intelligence of your environment and the people who reflect your readiness, you move without resistance. You don't chase good fortune. You become its natural match. Sometimes, the most powerful transformations begin in silence, right before we drift into sleep. It's that quiet space between night and morning where the noise of the world begins to settle, and something softer, more essential, begins to rise. After a day of noticing signs, aligning your surroundings, and moving with greater intention, what comes next is not another task to check off, but an invitation to restore and receive. And Taurus, if there's one thing you do with grace, it's learning how to build from stillness. As you prepare to end your day, try shifting your attention inward, not in the sense of analysis or worry, but gentle reflection. Let your awareness settle into the places where ease has already touched your life. What flowed smoothly today? Did you receive a kind word, an unexpected discount, or simply find a moment of calm in the middle of uncertainty? These may seem small, but they are markers. They tell you that abundance already exists within your orbit. Write down 3 of them. No pressure. Just 3 things you can feel grateful for, related to support, value, or any form of financial stability. The practice itself begins to rewire your perception, not to chase what you don't have, but to anchor into what's already blooming. Gratitude isn't just a feeling. It's a form of recognition. And what you recognize, you amplify. That's why, as you prepare to rest, I encourage you to speak a simple phrase. Not to hope for magic, but to remind yourself of your readiness to receive. Tomorrow, I wake up to new financial opportunities. Prosperity surrounds me. Don't just repeat it, feel it. Imagine this intention as a soft current rising from your chest and moving outward, like ripples in calm water. When you sleep with clarity, your body rests deeper, and your mind becomes more receptive to the subtle messages that often bypass our waking logic. Sometimes, those messages arrive in dreams. And while not every dream will make immediate sense, there are symbols worth paying attention to: clear water, bridges, open fields. Each one carries an energetic signature: clarity, transition, and expansion. When you dream of walking across a bridge or standing beside still water, your subconscious may be reflecting back your readiness to cross into a new phase of growth. If you see open land stretching far ahead, it could be a sign that the limitations you once believed in no longer apply. Don't worry about interpreting everything. Just notice. Trust that the dream world often processes what the waking world cannot yet explain. To deepen this connection between your body and the energy of receptivity, one gentle ritual you might try involves water. If the moon is visible where you are, place a clear glass of water in its light. You don't need to perform any grand ceremony. Just set the glass down with a quiet intention, perhaps a few words from your heart or simply your breath. In the morning, when you drink it, do so with presence. Let it be a reminder that just as water changes form to meet its container, so too can you flow into new versions of yourself, versions that no longer hold fear around lack, but instead embody the rhythm of sufficiency. Naming tomorrow as your day of transformation is more than a declaration. It is a choice. And choice, when made with clarity, becomes a compass. When you name the day ahead not with dread or uncertainty but with the quiet power of readiness, you set the tone. You decide that this is not just another day to survive, but a day to embody abundance, not just in your finances, but in how you think, speak, and move through the world. There's a teaching that says whatever state your mind rests in before sleep is the seed of the next day's reality. So let yours rest in openness, in enoughness, in the sense that all you've done today, every moment of reflection, every conscious breath, every act of alignment, has been enough. Let that be the final message your body hears as it surrenders to rest. I am safe, I am steady, and I am open to all that is already on its way. And now, dear Taurus, we arrive at the quiet closing of this journey, but in truth, this is just the beginning. Everything you've heard today, everything you've felt stirring within, is more than a message from the stars. It's a mirror held up to your own potential. You've been reminded that you are not simply walking through life waiting for luck to knock on your door. You are the door. You are the invitation. The shift you desire is not outside of you. It begins the moment you say yes to yourself. Maybe for a long time, You've been waiting for clarity, for timing to align, for the right moment. But here's a gentle truth: timing doesn't just arrive, it's created through presence. And presence is something you already have access to. In your breath. In your thoughts. In the way you choose to respond, rather than react. When you see that your choices, however small, carry the power to open new paths, you stop waiting and start becoming. The beauty of your journey, Taurus, is that you don't need to rush. Your strength lies in grounded movement, in staying rooted while still reaching. What you've practiced today, from observing your space, to honoring your intuition, to choosing your words with care, is not simply horoscope wisdom. It's a practice of presence. And presence, sustained over time, becomes power. So let me ask you, what is one small shift you can make today that brings you closer to the version of yourself you're becoming? Could it be writing down your intentions tonight before you sleep? Could it be speaking your affirmation aloud, not as a wish but as a quiet declaration of truth? Could it be choosing to walk somewhere peaceful instead of scrolling through your phone just a little longer? And what about your environment? Is there a corner you could clear, a piece of paper you could throw away, a wallet you could organize? These aren't just tasks. They're energy movers. They're choices that say, I'm no longer waiting for change. I am change. You are already in harmony with so much more than you realize. The guidance you've received today is not new, it's something you've always known, deep down. You just needed a gentle voice to remind you. And I'm honored to be that voice for you today. Before you go, I want to thank you, truly, for spending your time, your energy, and your heart here with me and with our eternal mindfulness community. Every view, every like, every comment you leave isn't just an action, it's a connection. It's part of a larger flow of energy that allows this space to keep growing, to keep reaching those who need these words most. So thank you, from the bottom of my heart. You are seen. You are supported. And you are never alone on this path. If something in this video resonated with you, a phrase, a feeling, a realization, I invite you to take one more step. Like this video if it brought value to your day. Subscribe to stay in tune with future readings and reflections. And most importantly, leave a comment below and tell me, what part of today's message touched you most? What small action will you take today to honor your abundance? Or simply write, I am ready to receive prosperity. Because once you put it into words, even in a comment, it becomes real. The universe listens when you speak with intention. And today, you've spoken volumes by simply being here, listening, and allowing your heart to open. Remember, good fortune isn't random. It arrives when your energy is in alignment with your readiness. And I believe, with everything in me, that you are ready.